Greetings all, and welcome to your roundup for all the action from Masters Tour Orgrimmar. You could feel the excitement in the air heading into our second Masters Tour of the year. Even with everyone expecting Control Priest and Spell Mage to be very popular, the rest of the meta was hard to predict. After the decks had been locked in, however, we saw that Rush Warrior and Tempo Rogue filled out the most common and, as it turned out, the most successful lineups. We kicked off our 9 Swiss rounds with a bang, with the winner of the previous week of APAC GM Blitzchung relying again on his signature token druid. While it stumbled along the way, he was able to get over the finish line in Game 5 and start the day right with a win over IG Sif. We also got our first look at Gabby, looking very strong against one of the frontrunners to become an America's GM, McBanterface. More importantly, however, we got our first look at those funky fresh dance moves as he took the win. Baby Bear closed out day 1 for us with an unconventional strategy of targeting Priest. However, she was dominating EU Grandmaster Zim so thoroughly that she won all 3 games without even seeing the Priest. And although she missed out narrowly on the top 16, we loved her risky deck building strategy. Day 2 started looking great for Europe and China, with only Nagon for APAC and German Shep for the Americas region left undefeated. But while it wasn't a hugely successful weekend for the Americas, we still had a lot of fun watching them compete, especially so with Kayla's Luna, who you'll be glad to hear is both a favourite to become a GM next season, and also seriously metal. Shaman was only bought by 2 players in the entire Masters Tour, and when we finally got to see it from Thulmenos, we could start to see why. It struggled against current world champ Glory, losing to the Priest before Thulmenos finally got a win with some very tight play and took down his worthy opponent. With the Swiss having come to an end, we got to see our top 16 bracket, and from here it was very simple, single elimination knockout until we crowned our champion. And what a top 16 match we saw. The hopes and dreams of Spain once again rested on Frenetic's shoulders, and despite starting with a 2-0 lead over Gabby, his Tempo Rogue just couldn't get there, and it was the French prodigy who scraped his way through to the quarterfinals. The start of day 3 and the top 8 brought with it some fantastic storylines. Would China be able to win 3 Masters Tours in a row? Would Blaise himself be able to get his 3rd Masters Tour victory? And with what felt like the entire Hearthstone community rallying behind him, would the 15-year-old ladder god Gabby finally get that tournament win? Things were obviously looking good for Europe, with half the top 8 being EU players, with 1 in every match. But what nobody saw coming was that every match of the quarterfinals would be won by a European player, thus ending China's winning streak and leaving us with 2 epic semi-finals. In the first semi-final, Floki put up a very good fight versus Viper, but even with the entire Benelux community cheering him on and a helping hand from Deck of Lunacy, it wasn't enough to take down the signature clinical play from Viper. After his very cool looking Libram Paladin lost, it was the beginning of the end for Floki, and it gave us our first finalist for Masters Tour Orgrimmar, Viper. Mon Dieu! An all-French semi-final guarantees at least a 2nd place finish for the most dominant country in Masters Tour history. Things started out even enough, with both mages taking a win, but the real masterclass came from Gabby in the Warrior Mirror. Blaise had the upper hand for almost the entire game, but Gabby saved the all-important Blademaster Samuro till the crucial moment to clear the board and sail through to the grand finals. The finals started simply enough, with both mages trading wins and the Warriors following suit shortly after, leaving us with a Game 5 Rogue Mirror for all the marbles. Gabby had been playing his rogue superbly all tournament, but it looked like it had finally come to an end when Viper got an absurdly powerful Jandis Barov. Gabby himself later admitted he thought he had lost, but he sort of stayed calm, played the ending perfectly, and was crowned the Masters Tour Orgrimmar champion. With that, he guarantees himself a spot in Grandmasters, where we will get to see much more of his pristine play and hilarious reactions. That concludes our roundup of all the action at Masters Tour Orgrimmar. We'll be back next weekend with Week 4 of Grandmasters, and for all information on GM and how to qualify yourself for the next Masters Tour, head to playhearthstone.com/esports. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the tavern.